Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everybody. I'm Preacher Miles, host of the SOS, the Shout Out Show. Welcome to another edition of Throwback Thursday. Again, that's another edition of Throwback Thursday here on the Shout Out Show. We got a doozy of a topic for you before we get in there. Let me say, I hope you're having a great day. Come on, you gotta have a great day. You know why? Because it's thank God it's Thursday, which is a lead into thank God it's Friday. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is we got a lot of things going on. I got some special shout outs I'm gonna be giving out to people. And of course, working towards a very sizable announcement. We're going to keep that on a hush hush for right now. Listen, I want to appreciate everybody that's been coming on the show. You know, we're winding up, we're rolling into the Preacher Moss 30 for 30, Ramadan 30 for 30. You know how much we enjoy that, how much I enjoy it. And this year, it won't be an accident. It won't be an experiment. We're going to be doing some special things. Hopefully, bring on some special guests who can talk to us about Ramadan. But we're going to talk about Ramadan ourselves. We're going to have some of these conversations about our personal experiences with Ramadan, what we think we're doing in Ramadan, our hopes, our objectives, our goals. I know this Ramadan, I really, really want to be mindful. Last year with Ramadan, it was so much about, let's be honest, it was so much about COVID-19, so much about a pandemic, our health, and things like that. And while we're coming out of the pandemic, in some regards, we still have issues to deal with, like the variant, and making sure that, we're not coming out of this situation too quickly. Allah knows best in these things. So, being patient, but also being able to reassess what our relationships are with ourselves, with our family, religious relationships, and beginning to talk about that a little bit more. I would like to try to spend a little bit more time on that if I can. We've all had a fairly rough year by most people's standards. But there was a lot of good that came out of it. There were a lot of laughs that we had here on the Shout Out Show as we slowly speed towards a year, believe it or not, of doing the SOS. So, like I said, a lot of things to celebrate, a lot of things to be thankful for. Before I get into my topic, I want to give a shout out to anybody who's coming on the show for the first time. You don't have to come on the show for the first time anymore. You are here. The next time you come out, I want you to understand that you are part of the Shout Out Show family, Shout Out Show soldiers. Now, we do have regular soldiers. I do shout them out. If you're here for the first time, jump in the comment section. Get the love, man. What's wrong? Get the love. I'm the host of the SOS. I'm not the owner of the platform. The people who come on the show, they're the ones who make the platform. Okay? That's number one. If you don't mind, if you're coming on the first time, hit that link for subscription, notification, like, all that type of stuff. And if you don't want to do it, it's okay. You know why? Because we respect everybody's opinion. We respect everybody's, not just opinion, but, just the fact that people want to spend time. So we try and keep it community. You ever hear the thing? We can trying to keep it real. We're just trying to keep it real community. All right. So shout out new folks. Let me shout out my shout out show soldier stars in the building. Satana, can we roll out? First up, we got Sister Reid. Sister Reid is the craft services dietitian for the shout out show. She does an amazing job, but we're telling Sister Reid take a couple days off, a week or so. I'm officially giving you some time off. All right, I want to make sure that you get your health right because we want you around for a long time. All right, consistency. They say health is wealth. We want you to make some money. Get your health together. Thank you again so much. I want to give a shout out to Brother Derek Chase, her husband, who was soldiering along with her. We appreciate both of y'all coming on the show and spending time with us. Like I said, teamwork makes the dream work. Next up, we got Sister Rabina Chowdhury, all the way from the UK. Why is Sister Rabina on the show? I'm going to tell you. First of all, she's on the show because she's making a sacrifice, brothers and sisters, because she's coming from the UK. She's coming from the UK. It's like 11:05 over there. She's tired. She's probably just trying to stay awake, but she came to hang with us. To make this thing family, she came to hang with us. So big shout out to Sister being in the UK. We appreciate you. Salute. All right. And my brother Johnny L. Thomas, my main man, my day one, my little brother, my inspirational brother who comes on the show, make sure I'm doing my thing. He always keeps a brother in tune with a lot of things, give me a lot of great information. Some of it makes the show. A lot of the conversations actually make the show, in bits and pieces. But, man, just much love to you, brother. Appreciate you coming on. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Go and get that blessing. Next up, Toffesheed, who I've named the Canadian ambassador to the Shout Out Show, the SOS. My man is steady, like 6 o'clock, straight up, straight down. My man is steady coming on the show, blessing us with his presence. We appreciate you, Altaf, and I hope you, like a lot of us, I'm trying to get into my Ramadan space, if you will. And we're gonna talk about Ramadan a little bit, but today is a little different. We're gonna have some fun. We had some topics that needed to be talked about, but today we're just gonna have some fun. All right. Thank you again, Altaf, for coming on the show. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Reid, you know you got it. You don't even have to say thank you. Let us thank you. All right. Doozy. Oh, okay. Sister Rabia. There you go. When I say we got a doozy means a good one. Oh, I got a doozy for you, like a good one. It could be good or bad, I guess. But in this case, it's good. When I said, boy, I got a doozy for you, it's almost like, man, I got something you will not believe. Or you could say, I got a doozy, like it's a good one. But it's meant in this particular platform, Sister Rabina, it's meant well. Now, if anybody uses the word doozy around you and we're not there, call me so we can qualify the statement. All right. And we got to give some shout outs to Sister Sultana, who's working the back. Sister Sultana, thank you so much for coming on the show, making it work. When I say making it work, the production works, the idea works, the concept works. The conversations that you have now are flowing and moving because Sister Sultana has learned a system. And I'm saying in learning that system, she's going to be definitely going to be one of our guest hosts during Ramadan. So that's my decision, one of my big. So I'm going to have a fairly consistent guest host. It's going to be Sister Satana, and we're going to be talking about some issues and interviewing people and things like that. But just going to expand the scope of the show for a little bit. 30 days doesn't hurt. After you've been on over 300, it doesn't hurt, right? I think so. Let's get our topic today. Ghetto Fabulous candy and snacks. Ghetto Fabulous candy and snacks. Now, people so preach. Why you say ghetto and fabulous? Ghetto Fabulous. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all something. There's a lot of knock on the idea of ghetto, the GHETTO, if you will. There's a lot of knock on it. There's a lot of negative connotations to it, but it has so much to do about the geopolitics of where people live, not necessarily how people live, not necessarily where people live, not necessarily how they build community. Ghetto Fabulous is something that we co-opted. I like the word ghetto, not so much, but when you make it fabulous, it does have a ring to it. Now, when I say Ghetto Fabulous, it is a celebration word, if you will. So when I'm talking about Ghetto Fabulous candy and snacks, I'm talking about candies and things that, you know what? It made us feel good. They weren't necessarily healthy. I'm not saying they were healthy or nutritional, but they made us feel good. A lot of y'all, I'm going to say some things here in a minute, and some of you, the picture's going to get wavy because you're going to start thinking about some of the things I'm saying. But, I realize that the candies I'm about to talk about, when you go to Walmart or CVS or Walgreens, these type of candies you really can't find anymore. Some of the drinks you can't find anymore. Because everything is a conglomerate. And the Ghetto Fabulous candies and snacks also give a little bit of shine, a little bit of attention to some of the corner stores that we used to own. Hear me now. Some of the cornerstones we used to own, which in African American communities, Black folks own those communities. And as time went, like my grandmother's neighborhood, the corner store used to be used to have some Black owners, and then eventually we had Asian owners. They were nice, but the thrill was gone. But the funny part is they knew business. And while there was no Black owner on the corner, what did they keep? They kept every ghetto candy and snack that they could find. I'm gonna get back to that in a little bit. Let's talk about the framework, if you will, of a store that sells these kind of, we sometimes we call them hood candy and snacks. Even in the suburbs of Maryland where I grew up, we had a store, and it was an interesting store because this store was called the convenience store, which we shortened to convenience. So kids be like, "Yo, you going to convenience?" We didn't say convenience store, we said convenience. You going to convenience? And for us, convenience Going to convenience is almost like the for a kid my age back then. Going to convenience would be like something a little less than a Muslim going to Mecca. Convenience was the store where we could go and express ourselves in terms of being able to buy things as a child. And you know, and we had bigger stores, but I'm talking about when you're, you know, second grade, third grade. There was a walk. You would walk up the back of it, and it was so funny because you walk through a field because to walk all the way around would take forever. And the wear and tear of kids walking that through that field, that shortcut, it actually just cut a whole thing. It just cut a whole path where you could just see straight like some. And finally I think they just said, well, let's let it be a path. Why? Because we were coming to spend money at convenience. The funny thing about convenience is that it resembled a lot of what we call food deserts today. It resembled food deserts that we talk about today, meaning that convenience didn't sell. They didn't sell meats, fish, chicken, vegetables, nothing like that. They sold a lot of candy and a lot of soda. And you're not thinking about this in terms of your health back in the day. We're not worried about this. When we had money, we would go to convenience. Even into my teens, we would play basketball all day, 15, 6 years old. We didn't have a car. You know what we would do? We would walk from the basketball court to convenience and buy a slew of things. Ironically, in 2020, when you find these things, these candies I'm about to say, they are specialty candies. I went to visit my father out in Albuquerque, New Mexico, a couple years ago, and I don't know how we got in this conversation, but we wound up going to a store that still provided hood candy. Hear me now. It provided hood, like he had his candy that he liked, but when I got there, I was like, "This is hood candy. I gotta get some," and I got it. I realized how much. I realized how much uh, my Ghetto Fabulous candy I had eaten over my life. I had to go overseas one day, and somebody gave me a Cadbury bar. A Cadbury bar is very rich in chocolate. And I bit into it, and I was like, "What is this?" They were like, "That's real chocolate." I was like, "No, you didn't." Not that I would abandon my hood candies, but let's think of some of the hood candies we had. You can't find them now. Remember Pixie Stix? Remember you could buy Pixie Stix? They were about this long, and you would have to tear the head off, and you would pour basically sugar down your mouth. That's it. It was it. Yeah, Pixie Stix. Remember blow pops? You can still get blow pops now. I get them at the gas station all the time. Satana, I was about to go to now and laters. I had to break my addiction to now and laters. I thought I was going to have to go to Kaiser to get some help. But now and laters, how many flavors can you know? Here's the crazy part about now and laters. Like, I don't like watermelon, but I love watermelon now and laters. Is that crazy? And I think having now and laters first before I had the watermelon ruined me for life. People look around and go, "You don't like watermelon?" But like, nope, but I like these now and laters. You had that. One of my favorite, it wasn't a hood candy, it was a status candy. And I remember going to school, elementary school, to be all these white kids around. And, you know, we were, those were the Smithsonian years. That's when there wasn't a lot of black kids in school. So you were, white kids look at you like you were an exhibit, like, oh, there's one right there. And he talks. Um, I remember specifically buying I asked my mom to buy me like 3 or 4 O. Henry bars. And unbeknownst to her, I got my father to buy several Babe Ruth bars. And I held on to those, the O. Henry bar and the Babe Ruth bar. And I held on to them um, just so when Hank Aaron broke his record, I could eat the whole Henry bar and just throw the Babe Ruth when he broke Babe Ruth's record. I was like, you can have that candy bar. This is a winner. All right. Silly, but it's true. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. When I was a kid, now ladies were like money. I got one. My friend, he's gonna be upset. I never liked Chico Sticks. I never got Chico Sticks. I never got why people wanted Zag Nuts. I never figured out why people wanted, hear me now, Almond Joy. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. I'm like, I don't feel Laffy Taffy and flavored Tootsie Rolls. Yes, JT. Laffy Taffy. And here's one. Here's one of my favorite ones. Hubba Bubba. Remember Hubba Bubba Gum? The feature of Hubba Bubba Gum is you could blow big bubbles. It busts in your face, but it wouldn't stick on your clothes. That was groundbreaking technology. It saved a lot of butt whoopings. Hubba Bubba was one. Oh, it's not necessarily a hood candy. Had the greatest commercial in the world. Peppermint patty. Remember peppermint patties? Someone would bite into a peppermint patty. When I bite into a peppermint patty, I feel I can ski over the world. That was a funny commercial. Peppermint patties are really good. Here's one for y'all. Um, oh my gosh. Da 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 da. Oh, Lemonheads. How could you forget Lemonheads? And I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't know who's in charge of which candies made it out of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Lemonheads are still here. I still eat Lemonheads. Let me tell y'all something. And I don't share. Let me say that. I eat Lemonheads and I don't share. Alexander the Great, Boston baked beans. Now you know you crazy when you think a baked bean tastes like pure sugar. Boston baked beans were amazing. Um, Satana, what was the stuff? It was all powder, and you get like this white stick, and you get it wet, and you just eat powder. Like you would eat powder. Like I'm gonna go back on y'all. JT, tell me if you feel me on this one. How many of y'all ate the sweetened version of KoolAid or Wyler's? Remember that? Like Wyler's lemonade. Like you make lemonade, but you pour it in the middle of a paper towel, and you would eat it up. Maybe that was me. Okay. There was that. Let's see. You never had those hard candle. Oh, you never had those hard candles. Grandparents always seem to have a stash of you. The hard candies. Yeah. Um. Yeah. What was the deal with leaving out peppermints for 9 years? Like I'm like, you ever eat a peppermint that's just been out there for 5 years and nobody say nothing? They just let you get it. I'm like, man. I said my ghetto fabulous candies were Mary Jane's, Clark Bar, Knee High Grape, Skins, Boston Bean Candy, and O. Henry. Oh yeah, yeah. That's that's that right there. You're gonna lose a foot, mom. Keep it up with that one. You know what? I'm gonna give y'all another one. I'm gonna give you another one. Wasn't a snack, but it was a drink. You ready? Tahitian Treat. Tahitian Treat fruit punch was the best soda. I know you had knee high grape and orange and all of that, but I'm here to tell you the Tahitian Treat with the little palm trees and get it in the bottle. Don't get They didn't really have plastic bottles. Like get it in the real bottle. That was the best. Like that was the best. Bazooka Joe. Oh, there you go. Okay, I can go with Bazooka Joe. Penny candy. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all something about penny candy. I believe penny candy help raise and keep families together. Because when you went for penny candy, the first time you went with an adult, and you got to see the value of what your penny could do. What we got here, Sister Rabina? We had the sweet shop, my favorites, lemon sherbet, punch, oh cake, licorice, sherbet, dip dab, rhubarb, custard. Well, y'all doing it big over there in the UK. You doing big over in the UK. I mean, I didn't have I had lemon sherbet, but I did have pound cake. So when my aunt Dut didn't make pound cake, brothers and sisters, and I'm talking about homemade pound cake, no slight re, But mine did it. It was killer. They did have a little thing, Wonka Fun Dip. That's it, JT. The Fun Dip. Satana, how could you forget the Fun Dip? The Fun Dip. It was like three pockets of dip or two pockets of dip. The smallest pocket had this little white thing. It was nothing but sugar. You would wet it, and that's how you ate the dip. Or you would like get Pixie Stix. Remember the big one, the big Pixie stick? It wasn't even a Pixie stick. It was like this long. You cut it off. It was like long and plastic. It's a wonder if any of us still have kidneys from what we did back in the day. Now, here's one. Okay, so I'm going to allow everybody to jump in on this one. What particularly did you like from Little Debbie's? What did you particularly like from Little Debbie's? I like Little Debbie's honey buns. I was a honey bun kid, a cinnamon roll kid. You give me a honey bun and cinnamon roll, I was good. Um, the candy that we could really get into back in the day, when you felt like you were somebody, status candy. Of course, it was like a Snickers. Now, I'm going to tell y'all one that I've never outgrown. So, if I don't say it, I think my Aunt Dottie will show up or my dad will show up. Or Miss Eleanor will show up and just out me. Two things I love to this day. One is Utz potato chips. I love Utz potato chips. Utz potato chips are an East Coast thing. Like, you've got to be on the East Coast to get them. I mean, they had everything from Utz and every flavor: barbecue, ribs. You had Ridge chips. You had Chesapeake Bay chips. Of course, you had sour cream and onion. I never got into that. I know why people like sour cream and onion, but the Utz chips, just the Utz, done deal. Done deal. Miss Eleanor, I came home one time. She had like a whole thing of this big. I'm surprised I ain't killed myself. Uh, JT, did you like Chico Sticks? I had one and never went back. I think it's because I don't like coconut. Jungle Juice. I had Jungle Juice. Um, you remember the little plastic juices with the aluminum top on it, and you had to drink. The drink, you just put your finger in and move the whatever it is, the little paper aluminum, and you would drink. Those were classics. I'm trying to think of another one. Oh, I was about to get into this one. Walaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Adam, a main man. Strawberry hard candy with liquid center. Yes. Yes. There was an old man at the masjid who used to give them out to me when I was a kid. Man, I'm gonna give this one to you. I can't believe y'all left this one out. Ready? Ho hos. How could you forget ho hos and Twinkies? What kind of people am I dealing with on the Shout Out show? You saw the title, Ghetto Fabulous Snacks and Candies. We can't even have a discussion without having a talk about ho hos and Twinkies and ding dongs and all of that. But I'm gonna tell you one that I love to this day. I'm not saying I need help, professional help, or have an addiction, but I'm gonna tell y'all something. And I blame my mother for this, and I blame my father for this. At a very young age, my mother turned me on to peanut chews, Gulden's peanut chews. So, Tony, can you put that comment back up from my aunt Maxine? Yes, I was about to talk about that. Now, my mom and my aunt grew up in Danville, Virginia, and they ran a family store. Uh, Now, this family store, of course, had that stuff, but they served food. So, this is also a little bit of history about the evolution of the corner store because we don't have them anymore. Like, we had a talk about best cheap foods, and JT and I were talking about places in Milwaukee where we would go. Those places are pretty much gone. The home house restaurant concept is out. I guess everybody's police department or health inspector said that is not going to fly. But here's my thing, though. If I can add this in, the thing about the candy that I've talked about, the penny candy that Reid mentioned, the little boxes, because you didn't get big boxes of candy. If lemon heads were about this big, but they were filled with lemon heads and lime laters. All that candy that I just talked about, believe it or not, I don't know, I may be stretching it. It was meant to share. That's what made it Ghetto Fabulous. It was meant to share. Later on down the road, of course, you get, your Snickers and your Three Musketeers. But that wasn't share candy. Lemon heads was share candy. Baked beans were share candy. Somebody, you could take a pixie stick and pour somebody in somebody's hand. It was the ultimate share candy. And I do miss it. Even my peanut chews. It's not one peanut chew, it's like six. So you can have five and give one away. And so it allowed some, in some regards, for charity. My aunt and my mom's my grandparents in Danville had a store. It wasn't just the nature of having a store. It was the nature that the store presented some type of opportunity for culture. And I don't mean around food or just gathering. It was around the idea that culture could be experienced, evolved, shared, and it was still a learning institution. The one thing about candies that I talk about, and the first time you realize that you're really into some you're missing your hood candy is when you do Halloween with white kids and the stuff they gave you. I remember a lady tried to give me an apple. I gave it back. She was like, "Here you go." I was like, "No, here you go." And it was so funny because even the candy we bought for Halloween, it was store bought. Milk duds, freeze cups. Yeah, you made your own stuff. Star Crunch, Nestle. What you got? Oatmeal cream, Lorna Doorn's oatmeal cream. What you got? Honey buns. Yeah. We didn't even get into the drinks. Like kids today are spoiled because they got 4 different flavors of Coca-Cola. You know how many Coca-Colas we had? One. That's how old I am. I remember when there wasn't a Diet Coca-Cola or Diet Pepsi. If you were dieting with a Coke, that meant you just drank half of it and passed it to somebody else, which, by the way, is the way you did it. And the best time to enjoy hood candies, the hood snacks, the Ghetto Fabulous candies and snacks was when, brothers and sisters, the summertime. Woo! JT says banana mallow pies, marshmallow pies. Now you mean mallow pies? Because my mom turned me on to those. Bethel's place. That's right. That's where my aunt had to sweep out every day. I think it was the only place in Danville, or one of the few places in Danville that actually had a jukebox. And people would come and hang out, and they would eat these burgers called Beth Burgers. My mom stopped cooking them years ago. But the idea of a Beth Burger, just imagine a big clump of meat balled up in the middle of some water, just taking up water. Man, I mean, that was it. Sister Charlie said, I think because we live next to a street market, we have fabulous exotic fruit from around the world as snacks. It was cheaper than buying sweets. Hey, I'm here to tell you, there's a whole lot of people who look back on those days, man, and they go, man, maybe I should have not had that 2-3 boxes of Lemonheads or those potato chips or whatever. You know, yeah, single slice wrap pound cake. My mother, who she there was a pound cake that I would get from convenience store, and I know the name clearly. Clearly, I think it was outside of my aunt's pound cake. It was one of the best pound cakes ever. It was called Intamin's pound cake, and we would eat Intamin's pound cake. My main man Andy, I love the simple licorice rope. And not only was it good, you could use it as a weapon from anyone trying to take it. Andy, you are correct. Now I like licorice. I like Twizzlers. Here's the deal. I'm not being racist against my own people, but I never liked black licorice. You can show me any kind of. I did not like black licorice. You know why? Because it tasted like cough syrup. But people love black licorice. Chocolate soda, Yoo-hoo. I remember Yoo-hoo. I couldn't do too much Yoo-hoo because Yoo-hoo. One day I woke up, I was lactose intolerant, and Yoo-hoo was ooh. Let me see, Adam. In those stores, you could get credit. You could say, "I'll have you. I'll get you the next time," and be told, "I got you." That was community. Try that at Kroger. I don't even try it at Kroger. I mean, the stuff I buy at Kroger, I'm like, look, hit my receipt on the way out. I'm like, take a picture. Is the corner store the same as the drugstore? That's a great point. That's a great point. I would say no. I would say no. The corner store sold goods. The drugstore really sold drugs. Like in my grandmother's neighborhood, we had a drugstore off of Fifth and Kennedy. And this is how old it is. This is how old I am. I remember having to go with my granddad to get cough syrup. And they would mix the cough syrup. A lot of people don't know that cough syrup is flavored. And so they would have the cough syrup, and hey, Miss Moss, what flavor do you want it to be? And they put a flavor in it. Otherwise, yeah, that stuff could gag a maggot all by itself. Diamond Tap. Oh, I remember Diamond Tap cough syrup was the most beautiful thing in the world. Why? Because it tasted like grape juice, like grape candy. I mean, sometimes I fake being sick just to get some Diamond Tap. Like, you know what I need, Mama? Um, Oh wow, look at the time, people. We have run over this time. This is a great conversation. Sister Rabina says, I love black licorice. One day I'm going to make as a concentrated effort to reestablish my relationship with black licorice because as activists, I gotta love all things out of black. Black oil, black seed oil, and of course, thank you, Andy and Rabina. Got to get on that black licorice. But listen, everybody, we're gonna get out of here. I appreciate you coming on and spend some time with us. Like I said, it was kind of a fun topic. You start thinking about all these things about these ghetto fabulous candy and snacks, and then you realize the whole idea of ghetto and fabulous, it's just community, man. And it makes those things make you feel a little bit better, a lot better about your community and how we grew up. You know, try and go get uh try and go get some of the stuff we talked about, some of the candies. Go to Kroger or CVS and see if you can find those candies. Just go to confuse people and walk up to somebody and go, where y'all Chico Sticks at? Don't say where are your Chico Sticks. We want where y'all Chico Sticks at? And just look at their faces. Look at their faces and enjoy. All right, Mom, you got some black licorice coming your way. Let me shout out our sponsor, please. All right, our proud sponsor is BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Again, that's BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. You can go to the website or you can call 1-800-679-3175. Again, that's 1-800-679-3175. Go ahead, get your information. Yeah, you got to figure out, people. Listen, you may have money, but you got to figure out, number one, you work for that money. Number two, you got to figure out a way to make that money work for you. Call that number, 1-800-679-3175. Or again, go to the website, which is www.befinancialindependent.com. Folks, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm going to go try and find myself some peanut chews. But if they don't have peanut chews, they got chunky bars. Wink. I held that one out to the end. You guys have been great. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Preacher Moss. This is a shout out show. Go ahead and get your ghetto fabulous candy and snacks on me. Assalamu alaikum. Hey, everybody, this is your brother, Preacher Moss. Listen, I hope that you enjoyed your shout out.
Hey everybody, this is your brother Preacher Moss. Listen, I hope that you enjoyed your shout out show experience. We'll be back with the next show, the next shout out show. A simple ask before you go, please help your brother out. Click that subscribe button, click that notify button, and I'll see you again on this side of the microphone. You probably wonder what that smell is. That's me. I smell good. And the reason I smell good is because I use oils from Tahitian. So I'm not saying you can't smell good. I'm not even saying you stink. I'm saying you have the opportunity to smell exquisite. Check out TahitianTar.com for some of the best oils and scents in town.